Welcome to Story in English, the channel where timeless romance stories are brought to life. In this video, we present a dramatic and emotional summary of the unforgettable novel, Together Above the Stars, originally written by Anne Mather. Love, betrayal, silence, and healing. Follow the journey of Maggie, a woman haunted by the past, and Rafaello, the man she once loved and never truly forgot. Narrated in a cinematic voiceover, based on the original full novel, perfect for fans of classic romantic fiction and Harlequin-style drama. Title: Together Above the Stars Dramatic Summary, Story in English. They planned to ever see him again, not after everything, not after the heartbreak that had shattered her so completely. But fate, or perhaps cruelty, had other plans. Maggie stood at the edge of the Italian villa's grand entrance, her slender figure frozen, her soft hazel eyes filled with a mixture of shock and quiet pain. The soft glow of sunset framed her like a painting. She looked elegant in her pastel dress, light brown hair falling gently over her shoulders, but her posture carried the weight of years lost and love betrayed. And then, there he was. Rafaello d'Angelo, tall, dark, and impossibly composed. His presence filled the room before his voice ever did. Jet black hair, a strong, sculpted face, and eyes so cold and unreadable they could slice through glass. He wore a charcoal gray suit as if it were armor. He hadn't changed. Or maybe he had, only deeper into the man who once broke her. He greeted her like a stranger. "Miss Thompson," he said, the words soaked in frost. Formal, distant, a knife wrapped in silk. Maggie felt her heart twist. That name, that tone, it was as if the nights they had shared, the dreams they once whispered, never existed. But she wouldn't fall apart. Not now. Not in front of him. She entered the villa behind him, her heels tapping sharply against the marble floor. The silence between them screamed louder than any fight. Every hallway, every corner of this place echoed with memories she tried so hard to bury. She remembered laughter, then shouting, then silence. The kind of silence that lingers long after the door closes. He offered no apology, no warmth, he barely even looked at her, but his body was tense, too still. Maggie could tell. She always could. His coldness wasn't indifference, it was armor, and beneath it, he still bled. She spoke first, quiet but firm. "Why did you ask me to come here?" He didn't answer. He simply looked at her, really looked. And in that moment, just for a heartbeat, she saw the man she had once loved, buried deep beneath those guarded eyes. But then it vanished. He turned away. "I needed to speak with you," he said, clipped and precise. "About what?" she pushed. A pause, then, "The past." And just like that, the door to everything they tried to forget opened. She didn't want to talk about the past. She had spent years trying to forget it, trying to bury what he had done. But Rafaello wasn't here for forgiveness. He was here to confront a version of the truth she had never dared to speak. They moved into the sitting room. Everything was still as grand as she remembered. Italian marble floors, tall windows letting in golden light, but none of it felt warm. Not with him in the room. He stood by the fireplace, his profile sharp against the glow. She sat, hands clasped tightly in her lap. He didn't look at her. Not yet. "You disappeared," he said finally, without a word, without explanation. Her breath caught, so it was starting. "You didn't want the truth," she whispered. He turned slowly, eyes locked on hers. There was fire in them now. Fire he tried so hard to hide. "I wanted loyalty," he said. "I wanted the woman I loved to stand beside me. Instead, I found silence." Maggie felt the weight of those words strike like stones. "I left," she said, "because I was pregnant." The silence that followed wasn't silence at all. It screamed. His eyes narrowed. "You had a child?" "I lost the child," she answered, voice trembling, "before I could even tell you." Something broke in his expression. Not fully, not visibly, but she saw it. In the flicker of his eyelids, the way his jaw clenched too tightly. He stepped back, away from her. "You should have told me," he said, barely above a whisper. "And what would you have done?" she snapped. "Blamed me? Accused me of trapping you? You didn't trust me, Rafaello. You made that very clear. The past flooded between them like a storm, words they never said, feelings they never healed. And in the eye of that storm, the truth stood, finally, exposed. He looked down, his voice lower, more human now. I never stopped loving you. She didn't know whether to cry or run. And for the first time in years, she believed him. Maggie stood, unable to sit still any longer. The air between them had shifted, no longer just cold. It was volatile, like something was about to explode. Years of silence and misunderstandings had led to this moment. You say you loved me, she said, voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. But you didn't fight for me. You let your pride come before us. Rafaello stepped toward her, slowly, cautiously. His expression softened, and for once there was no armor in his voice. I was afraid, he said. Afraid of being wrong, of loving too much, of being hurt. His honesty stunned her more than his anger ever had. He had always been the strong one, the untouchable one. But here he was, breaking in front of her. She whispered, I needed you. Back then, I needed your hand, not your suspicion. He lowered his head. And I failed you. A silence fell between them again, but this one felt different. It wasn't filled with accusation. It was a space to breathe, to feel. Suddenly, Rafaello reached out, slowly, almost unsure, and took her hand. I don't want to live another day without you, he said. If there's still something left, if even a part of you still loves me. She looked into his eyes. No walls, no masks, just him. And her heart, bruised and guarded for so long, answered quietly, I never stopped. He pulled her into his arms, and this time it wasn't passion or desperation. It was peace. After everything, the silence, the pain, the years, they had found each other again. Not beneath the stars, but together above them. Subscribe for more beautifully narrated romance stories every week. Leave a comment if you were moved by Maggie and Rafaello's journey.